Everyone say these two words. 50 years.
50 years.
Okay, now trivia question. How old, and how long do you think Thrive has been in existence?
50 years.
That's amazing. You guys are awesome.
So yes, couldn't believe I forgot to mention, this year, 2023, is our 50th anniversary. And all the facets and the different structures and the people that supported, all the saints that came before us have led to this moment, right? And you're gonna hear a lot more about this tonight. So 50 years is not something to be unafraid to talk about. So we're really excited about that. So thanks for everything that your organizations have done, you've done. As I said, the saints have gone before us, and here's looking at another 50 years. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very fancy mic. Hi, everybody.
She's having a problem with
Yes.
temper.
I couldn't believe you stood there and watched you struggle.
I know.
Thank you. I'm perfect, thank you.
That's my boss.
So for those of you who I haven't met, I'm Angela York. I'm the Executive Director of Thrive. I'm so thrilled that all of you came out tonight. I'm sorry we got started a little late. There was a little bit of traffic that held up some folks, so I'm glad you all made it safely here. And thank you to Temple Baptist for allowing us to use their space. Thank you to Cookie Text for bringing some free cookies for us. Awesome. Thanks to Jen for organizing this event. Anyone else I forgot? I don't know. Raise your hand. I can thank you personally. Thank you, little lady, for coming to this. She raised her hand. Thank you. So anyway, we appreciate you all coming. Our intention is to give an overview of the things that we have going on at Thrive so you can feel in the loop as to what we're doing, what's coming up, how you can get involved. I also think it's a great opportunity for everyone to put names to faces of all of our staff because they're all here and they're all going to do a little section of talking. So if you don't like how somebody's talking, you only have to deal with them for like 5 to 7 minutes and then somebody else is coming up here. So that's good. So a couple pieces of housekeeping. The restrooms are through that door. If you want any more water or cookies or snacks, please feel free to get up and help yourself. There is a sign-in sheet back there. If you can sign in, let us know you're here. That would be helpful. And then we will go over all of the trivia questions at the end. I know some groups were trying to cheat, so we are in church and God is watching. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start my slide. If you don't mind. Thanks, Jen. Okay, so how many of you can read these numbers? Some of you? Okay. So this is a bit of an overview of where we've come. Normally at meetings like this, I do a 5-year overview, and it talks about how we've grown in 5 years. But the need has been so great. 2022 was a year that we saw a spike in requests for all kinds of help. We received a record number of applications for financial assistance. We actually received 8,000 applications for financial assistance. Our food pantry receives requests online and by phone. Most days we're filling up all the slots we have for the day in 10 to 15 minutes of phone calls. And so the staff have worked extremely hard to add more volunteer shifts, to pick up food at more Food Lions, to go to the food bank more frequently, to do all of the things just so we can hustle and try to help more people who are in this very difficult space for the very first time. And something I get asked a lot is, why? Why now? Why are people struggling right now? For us, it really we started to see it when the cost of gas started to go up. Then, of course, we saw the cost of goods and groceries go up. And so if you think about the families in our community who live paycheck to paycheck, they really can't withstand those increases. The biggest thing that most of us probably don't think about if we're not renting is that the cost of renting has gone up significantly. And the cost of your mortgage or your rent is usually your largest bill, right? And so if that goes up 10 to 20%, that has a huge impact on your finances. And it's not uncommon for us to see that somebody's coming to us for assistance and hey, their rent was $850 and now their lease is renewing and guess what, it's $1,100. And that is real. That is happening every day to the families we serve. And so one of the first things that we had to do was to start distributing more money, right? So individual families, pre-pandemic, the most that we would assist an individual family would be $400. Now it's $1,000. And that's just because $400 doesn't do much anymore because the cost of rent is so high. And there's a lot of other things that we know about in our midst that have made things crazy, but those are the main things that we've seen that have really added a challenge. So these numbers here, we've almost doubled in a year. Last year we distributed 380,000 pounds of food. The previous year was 200,000 pounds. Last year we did 797 financial coaching sessions. Those are one-on-one, and the previous year we did 457. Last year we distributed over $500,000 in emergency financial assistance, and you compare that to about 350,000 the previous year. We did all this using volunteers, and actually I provided the wrong flyer here, but last year we clocked 18,000 volunteer hours, and we just did a tally. If you follow us on social media, we announced how many weekly volunteer slots we fill in order to do all this work, because the volunteers are the frontline workers. All the staff that you're going to meet tonight, we're just the ones who organize this stuff, right? So our financial coaches, the people who answer the phone, who call to do applications, who pack the groceries, they're all volunteers. So we have, was it 165? Yeah. 165 volunteer slots that we have filled every week. And so that means that if somebody comes in on a Tuesday at 10 o'clock, they come in every Tuesday at 10 o'clock, and all those slots have been filled. So, and that's compared to about 100 slots the year before. And so, like I said, we're just doing everything we can to try to push harder to help more people. And it's been a challenge, you know, in our building is small, which of course there's more to come on that, which we'll talk about. But yeah, I just want to emphasize that we're working really hard and doing as much as we can. And so your support has allowed us to do that. You all are the backbone of what we do. And so it's just critically important to us that we are doing right by you, and that we're communicating and helping as many families as we can, because your partnership is critical, and it's how we do these things. Okay, so this slide, I don't know if you can see it or not. This shows you a breakout of our income. This is kind of a common question I get. Where does your money come from? About 12% come from our partner churches. Individual giving has gone up significantly in recent years. So we focused a lot on getting, you know, individuals in the community who want to make personal gifts. That has helped us tremendously. That was 14%. We do fundraising, as you all know. We'll be talking about our two big events that we do, Give Local 757, Giving Tuesday. And some of those things churches do contribute to, so, you know, there's some crossover in some of these numbers. And then grants. So one of the things I always like to say is that we take funds that you all give us, and we really leverage them by going out and applying for grants, because grants are just a huge part of ways that we can create more revenue and bring it back to the people who need it most. And so we spend a lot of time applying for grants, doing all the reporting, but it's in order to help more people. And then we have 5% from other groups in the community. 16% is actually kind of another grant, but I have it in its own category. So we do get state money from Virginia Eviction Reduction Program, and that's all money that we use to distribute out 100%, and it goes back to help people with their rent and utilities, and actually in childcare and transportation, because all of those elements come together toward helping families become stable. Because if you can't pay your childcare, you can't go to work, and it's all wrapped up in the same ball. And so it's important that we can help them with all those elements. And then food. People like to ask, where do you guys get your food from? So you guys play a huge role in this. 22% of our food comes from you, and that's a lot of the shelf-stable goods, which is so critical, especially at a moment right now where the food bank, which we rely very heavily on in order to restock us, they're very low. And so I know that we can do a call out to churches. You all will do drives for us and help us to refill critical stock, and that is so important for us. 27% of our food comes from Food Lion. This is called Neighbor to Neighbor. It's where we go in and we rescue food that they were going to throw out tomorrow because it, you know, they didn't think it was going to last, or maybe there was a moldy orange in a bag of perfectly good oranges, and we sort through it and end up throwing some things out, but we're able to distribute most of it. So we get a lot of our things from Food Lion. And then the food bank, about almost 25%, we go there 3 days a week with church volunteers. And Temple, in fact, lets their volunteers use their truck and their trailer on their cost in order to go to the food bank once a week. So we have, Ralph is here with Menchville. He uses his personal truck to do that. So it's all volunteers doing this stuff, and it's really cool. And then other community gifts, about 26%. Those are individuals or groups from the community who give us the food. Okay, and I'm going to pass it on to Mary. She is our program services manager, and she oversees almost all of those 165 slots. So bless her heart, we should say a prayer.
Out a little bit.
There you go.
You're very good at it.
Job security.
Resume builder.
We'll give you a good reference, Ken. Well, thank you guys for coming out. I recognize quite a few of you, and some of you I was able to meet tonight. So one of my primary tasks is to coordinate the volunteers every week, and it has been a lot. It's definitely changed from when I started. We currently, with all of those slots we have, we are 100% full at this point, which is amazing. So right now, kind of my biggest need is getting people to sub, because we have people who are out sick. They're, we let our volunteers go on vacation every now and then. They want to visit their grandchildren. So we like to let them do that. That being said, at the end of April, we will have some openings coming up because the CNU students are leaving. And we do rely heavily on our CNU students. I believe we have 12 CNU students volunteering with us right now. They are amazing. In the fall, we had 20. So we will have openings like I said, the end of April, and we will have a big need this summer for substitutes, because again, a lot of people are traveling, especially now that we can kind of be out in the world again. So we do that. One area that's really good for us to try to pull from is if you know people who are teachers, high school students. They're great. A lot of the high school students need volunteer hours. We have 2 high school seniors with us right now who come in on a regular basis to volunteer. So if you know of high school students who need volunteer hours, send them my way. We will work with them. Again, teachers, we've had school bus drivers come in also. So those are some good people that we are open to everybody. I'm going to do a shameless plug for Jen, because Jen, bless her, she has to coordinate these drivers to go to the food bank, to go to the Food Lions to pick up. We have deliveries that she takes care of. She's scheduling all of those. We need people to sub for her also. If you have a truck, a van, an SUV, those are great when we have to go pick up the food at Food Lions, because we need big vehicles. The bigger the vehicle, the more stuff we can take if they have it. So if you know of anybody, if you're interested, Jen's your girl for that one. So that's kind of the volunteer part. So food accessibility, we try to make it as easy as possible for clients to come and get food. As Angela said, we fill up very quickly every day. We do, on average, at least, on the low end, we'll serve at least 20 people a day. We have 2 days a week, Wednesdays and Fridays. We will tend to hit over 30 families on those 2 days alone. We, as Angela said, we try to do all we can. Our volunteers are going hard. They're going as hard as they can. As I tell the clients, I need them to come back. They're going as hard as they can, but they can only do so much. And in our space, we're tripping over each other. We are moving carts in and out of the way. So we're doing all we can there, but we have a drive-up food model. So where the clients come, they schedule their appointment, they pull around to the back of the building, they call us, we take their food out, we load it in their car. We have clients who ride the bus. We have a bus stop right by us, so we're very fortunate with that. We have clients who use Handy Ride. We have clients who use Uber and Lyft. We've had clients send Uber to pick up their food from us. So that's how some of them are walking. We also have the deliveries that Jen is coordinating, and there's anywhere from 15 to 17 deliveries that we have go out every week to clients who are not able to get there on their own. It might be a single parent who would have to ride the bus with little kids. That can't happen. So we have volunteers who take them, and some of our volunteers love to post their escapades on social media about their deliveries, and we love to read how they go and they've gotten to know the clients. So that's really, really important for us to be able to do that. We are working with other organizations in the community. I have a handful of VA caseworkers I work with who pick up for veterans who are not able to come and get food. So they're coming, we probably do 12 to 15 veterans through the VA caseworkers. They are also working to get some of them to come on their own, so they will coordinate Lyft rides for them. So we do that. We work with Catholic Commonwealth Charities to work with the refugee families. So again, it's a very specific pack that we have to do for them based upon dietary restrictions, which leads me right into my next line, dietary needs. We have a food profile that we use to pack for the clients. We take into account dietary restrictions, food allergies. We have clients who are vegetarian. We have clients, they're Muslim families, they eat halal. We have a handful of packers who know how to pack those orders, and we try to make sure we do the best we can to accommodate everybody's dietary restrictions, food allergies. Sometimes we're calling clients back and asking lots of questions. So tell them we try to do the best we can. We take great pride in what we're doing. When I say we, I'm talking about my volunteers, and they're there. They are very concerned. They want to know that it's right. So they'll come and they'll ask questions, and they'll say, can you call them and ask them? So we do that quite a bit. We also started recently, just in the past 5 weeks, it's a food as medicine program, and that's with the Lackey Clinic. So we have clients who are referred to us specifically through a program. They have a very special link that they use to do their own food profile. It's very limited foods that they can pick, but so we make sure as soon as those come in, they're looking at things like dried beans, nuts, granola, some dairy, and lots of fresh produce. So we're working with them to do that too. So that's been fun to be able to do that. So we are really working with the community to do as much as we can, and we just kind of keep adding on, and the volunteers they keep taking it in, they keep doing it. So we are very, very blessed. So thank you guys for all you do for us, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
I think it's just right, so I don't have to move it. Thank you everyone for coming. My name is Teresa Beal. I'm Client Services Manager, and I've been with Thrive now for about 3 years. And as Angela stated, a lot of our clients, they really need us. They live paycheck to paycheck, most of them low income. Sometimes they have just bad luck, different things happen. And if you are living from paycheck to paycheck and your car breaks down or something happens that create a financial crisis for you. So our financial assistance process is we provide assistance for rent, and we try to bring the client to zero balance. We pay current rent 1 month, and the client has to pay some of it. So one of the qualifications is they must have income. So we try to bring them as close to zero balance as possible. Sometimes we have clients that have 2 to 3 months. And so with that, we're not able to pay the entire amount, but we partner with other organizations. I'll get more into United Way, but we partner with United Way, and some other organizations contribute funds to that as well, so we can try to get them to zero balance. We also provide assistance for utilities that includes electricity, gas, HRSD, and water. And also we do car repairs. We do some car repairs up to probably $1,000, just kind of depends. We do car payments. Sometimes people get behind on different things that come up in their family, and they need transportation to get to work. And if they miss car payments, you know, that multiplies, of course, quickly, and then the car get repossessed, and then that creates a financial situation they can't get to work. So the maximum gift Angela has spoke about is $1,000 for rent. This is Thrive's, that's our maximum. However, if they're eligible for the VERT program, which is the Virginia Eviction Reduction Program, it allows us to pay a larger amount, and that's based upon their risk assessments. We do a risk assessment where they can pay, they have to give a portion of it. They can pay anywhere from 60 to 80%, but we can pay a little bit more than $1,000. And then also, Thrive pays $750 for the utilities that I mentioned. But again, with the VERT program with United Way, those grant funds, we can pay a little bit more as well. And that depends on the risk assessments. So now the application process itself is they have to go to our website, which is www.thrivepeninsula.org, and they go to the Need Help button, and then they click on Financial Assistance, and then there's an eligibility screener that they must answer those questions, and if they are eligible, then a application will come up, they fill that out, and then we print it out in our office, we get their application. If they're not able to print it, to do it online, if they don't have access to a laptop or computer or by their phone, they can call in, and we have a volunteer or staff person that will take their application and do it for them and then print it out. Once we receive their application, it takes at least 3 to 5 days for us to process it, and that includes reviewing the application, getting all the required documents, and the required documents is we must have an ID, income verification, bank statements, a lease, ledger, or mortgage, and then in the bill that they're requesting us to pay. So once we get all that information, we assign them with a financial coach who sits with them one-on-one, or if they're not able to come in person, we talk with them over the phone, and we go through the whole, we call it a spending plan instead of a budget. We go through their income and their expenses. We find out ways that we can talk to them and tell them how we can, tips that they can do to try to lower their expenses. We go through all that. We give them other resources or things that they can use to be able to help them out financially every month. A lot of people don't think that they are qualified for food stamps, for instance. So we try to let them know, yes, you can apply for food stamps, different things like that. Also other organizations that'll help them with utilities, because like I said, we can only do so much. Say a lot of people we get, especially during the pandemic and the year after that, they had electricity bills $2,000 to $4,000. Obviously, we can't pay $2,000 or $4,000. So that's again where we would work with Salvation Army, some of the other churches, and United Way to help them with their bill. So once we go through that whole process and meet with them, we determine how much we can help them with, and then our accountant gets a check and mailed to the Dominion company or any utilities or the landlord or the apartment complex, and we're able to pay their bill. And we do as much as we can. We'd love to do more. Unfortunately, funds are limited because we get a lot of applications. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. If they have any more questions? Okay. That's it.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
And thank you so much for your time tonight. As Angela indicated, you know, the way that we get funds. And so for clients that don't qualify for the state funding through the PERT program, we can help them through the regular Thrive program. My name is Tammy Petty. I'm a client service manager, as well as Teresa at Thrive. I started out in 2019 with Thrive as a volunteer financial coach, and now I'm a Thrive employee. I kind of work with the Level Up program. The Level Up program is ongoing financial coaching that our clients qualify for. You don't have to have received financial assistance to qualify. You can just call and say, I'm having trouble budgeting, can you help me? What we like to do, if we help you financially, we don't want to just put a Band-Aid on it when you need stitches. We want to bring you in and give you those stitches. And how do we do that? We first talk about what is financial wellness, and we kind of build on that. We look at a client's attitude towards money. What are your priorities with your money? What do you pay first? How do you determine what you're going to pay first? What is your spending behavior? By a show of hands, who all goes to the grocery store? How many of you make a list? How many of us that don't make a list, including me, I get home, I have cereal and very little milk. I bought pasta and I have no sauce. I have salad dressing and no salad. So we stress the importance of behavior, how you spend your money. You know, how do you shop? How do you save? Do you budget? Do you even journal? We have so gotten away from journaling your spending. When my kids were younger, I would say, well, I don't have any money today. And they would say, can't you put that card in the wall at the machine? You know, and then they didn't realize that you've got to put something in to get something out, you know. And so our clients, be it young or old, they fall into financial hardship because they've lost a spouse. During COVID, they've lost income. Just hardships overall with the increase in gas, with the increase in food. And not everyone can carpool. Teresa, can you pick me up tomorrow for work? You know, everybody can't do that. Everybody's not going my way. And so those things. And we want to help create a lifestyle. That lifestyle comes from being consistent, being encouraged. You know, a lot of people didn't learn finances, didn't learn money. Their parents didn't talk about it. And as a result, they're here, they're at Thrive. They're in different places where they're looking for that funding. But we have to be consistent and teach more than, let's put this Band-Aid on that. Let's do something more. And that's where Level Up comes in. We talk about how do you handle money? Is it month to month? Is it paycheck to paycheck? Is it week to week? How do you handle money? How many of us were told how to handle money? I have some banking experience, 14 years of banking experience. And I'm surprised at how many of our clients don't have a ledger. They don't journal. And that's so important, to journal, to ledger, to know what's the difference between my available balance and my actual balance. And too many of our clients are going by their available balance and not knowing the actual balance. So that's important. We think of we think of the Level Up program as we want our clients to come in one way and leave a better way. We want them to have control over their month-to-month spending. We want them to have the capacity to absorb financial shock. Most of our clients, if they got a flat tire, they're going to pull from their utility bill money or their rent money to fix that tire because they just don't have the extra. They're not taught about saving. A lot of them just want to see their money and not have the money as a roof over their head. And so there's a big difference. We're teaching our clients to establish an emergency fund. It could be as much as $50 to get that tire. It could be as much as $100 to help cover that bill. And then lastly, the financial freedom that allows them to live the lifestyle that they want to live. But again, it comes from encouragement. It comes from coaching. It comes from consistency. And we are having some success. We have two young ladies that stand out. A young lady wanted to go get another job, a second job. She makes good money. She wanted to get a second job. And we could see some things like, don't buy coffee every day. Don't go to Starbucks every day. Make your coffee. Don't eat so much fast food. Pack your lunch. As a result of 3 months, she was able to save money. She took her daughter on a shopping spree in New York that did not pull from her household income. That was amazing. That was great. But all it took was just some tweaking to what she was doing currently to help her to save. And that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on. Along with the program, our clients can create things like establish personal goals, professional goals, things like creating a resume, updating a resume, establishing a savings account, paying off some debt. These things create reward points. And with those points, they get gift cards for reaching certain milestones. And so that's the Level Up program. It's a free program. We are in the process of doing Zoom sessions. We're working some things out so that we can be able to do Zoom sessions. But then we also have sessions that are one-on-one, more geared to our clients individually and more personal. And so again, it's a free program. All they have to do is call Thrive and get started. Any questions?
Is this secondary to the financial program?
It is secondary to the financial program, but they don't have to have had financial assistance. So they can just really call and say, hey, I'm having trouble. Can you help me with the budget? Can you look at my credit?
The financial program?
No, sir. You have anyone interested?
No, we deal with a lot of people. The church deals with a lot of people, and
Yes,
this
sir.
is good information that
Absolutely.
we can share with them, but we don't want to give them the wrong information.
No. What's your name?
My name's Norman
Norman.
Brown.
I'm going to give you my business card. If you have someone interested, they can call me.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome very much.
Isn't she charming?
You hired her, didn't you?
Isn't she charming? I got some competition.
Do you want to tell them what effort we make to get financial assistance clients to do Level Up?
Every person that sits in the seat for financial assistance, we almost want it to be mandatory. We don't make it mandatory, but we encourage it strongly. We want this assistance that we provide as a one-time, we want it to be just that, a one-time. We want it to be a hand up and not a handout. And so we strongly encourage that they participate. And it's working. It's working. Any other questions for me? Come on, Norman, don't you have one more?
There's a lot of churches here.
I'm
I
not
said
gonna pick on you. We act like these two, right? Yes, ma'am.
So volunteers are providing this financial coaching.
They have, go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. My volunteers have taken a master financial education class.
That was my
Yes, ma'am. We recently just had about eight graduates on last Thursday.
And who provides, is it the extension?
Yes, ma'am.
That's amazing.
It is.
Do you all have to pay for that training for the volunteers?
That is, if they pay for that training. Yes, ma'am.
Who is that?
The client, the volunteers themselves, the coaches
Okay, so
themselves.
Really? The
Thrive. No, that's not correct.
She doesn't know, she didn't pay. The class is $75, Thrive pays $60, we asked a volunteer to put in 15.
Ask me again.
Okay. 20 hours.
She's my sister, by the way.
So the classes are quarterly, but they're doing the class, I think it's like Tuesday and Thursday evenings, maybe 2 hours, like 6 to 8 p.m. For 5 weeks or 4 weeks. If you go to our website on the volunteer tab, there's a note on there about the financial coaching, and if you click, there's the actual schedules are posted for all future
Is it
classes.
at the VCE office or is it at your office?
It's in Zoom.
Zoom. Oh, it's Zoom.
But if you're interested, first we want you to come in and shadow one of our sessions so you know what you're signing up for. So just let Tammy know or Jen know if you're interested.
You want my card too, right?
I want your card and I want Teresa's card.
Okay.
Because not only am I here for my church, but I work for Peninsula Agency on Aging and
Nice.
we partner a lot.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bueno, buenas noches a todos. Gracias por estar aquí. No? Okay. Mary put me up to it. Mary put me up to it. Mary said, how about you just go up there and you just start talking Spanish? And I said, I don't think that's going to be a good idea, Mary. But, all right, I tried it.
Trouble.
Well, I am the newest member of Thrive. I've been with Thrive for about, literally I'm counting, it's going to be a month and a week on Thursday. So I'm counting the days. Right now I am the bilingual intake specialist. I'm sorry, I have to look at my notes. This is my first time, so bear with me. Okay, so my role primarily, I assist Tammy and Teresa. Just to kind of take a little bit of the load of paperwork, the amount of paperwork that we have to deal with it's tons. So I take a little bit of that load off of them so they can focus a little bit more on our clients, okay? Oh God, okay. So the way that I do this is that I screen all the applications that come in, okay? I am the one that sends out the request for documents. I am the one that receives the documents. and I am the one that sometimes in occasions I have to communicate with the clients as well. So I will be your church, I will be the church client referral contact. So if you have any anyone from your church that is in need, I would be the person that would primarily be speaking with them initially. This is something that I do as well. When we look at the application, when we receive it, one of the things that is asked is who referred you. So when I see that one of our church partners are, you know, I can see that they come from our church partners, that gives us an opportunity to give the people that you send to us a priority. And obviously one of the things that makes me the happiest that I am able to help the Hispanic community. Surprisingly, since I've been there, I've put here about 15, but I think I've helped about 20 families so far, and I've only been there for a month and going on a month and a week. And I think the word is spreading out. It's really spreading out. They're calling, hey, there's somebody that talks Spanish here? Yeah, that's Jocelyn. And if it's on a Wednesday, which I don't work, I'm not there on Wednesdays, they're like, call back Thursday. She'll be here. So that's something that we're really happy about. As well, we're trying to make our website more accessible to our Spanish-speaking community, because as of right now, when they go onto the website, it's primarily in English. Just recently, we were able to translate the application for food services, and we're going to be working on translating the application as well for financial assistance, and just to make it more accessible to them, that when they go onto our website, they can see, oh, okay, they're going to be able, you know, to assist me, and I'm going to be able to communicate with them. So that's something that we are very happy about. Well, everyone seems to be very happy about it. Yes. They keep on telling me every day, Jocelyn, we're so happy you're here. And I was like, I'm so happy I'm here too. I was telling Mary this morning, I was at dinner with my children, and I'm gonna retrieve myself, but I was at dinner on Sunday, and I said, you know what? I'm so happy that I get to go to work tomorrow. And I know that a lot of people don't get to say that. But I was telling them, you know, my weekend is done, right? It's Sunday, I gotta start getting ready for Monday, but I'm happy to go to work on Monday. Very happy about what I'm doing, very happy about just being a part of Thrive. Literally everyone, from the volunteers, from when you come in through the door, you just see that motivation to really, truly help people. And I'm just happy to be a part of that mission, and I'm sure that each and every one of you as partners of Thrive are happy to be a part of that mission as well. So thank you all. Buenas noches. And you'll see me again. Oh, good question.
What's your name?
Did I not say that?
Nope. It was in a quote.
Okay, first, I don't have a name tag yet, just of yet, but I will have one soon. My name is Jocelyn Vega. Yes, Jocelyn Vega. So at the end of the slide presentation, my email is going to be there, so you guys can write my email down, or you can ask me for my phone number at the end, and then you can just chat a little bit about how I'll be able to help those that you guys refer to us. Okay? Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
All right, Ken. You're gonna go really high? All right.
Oh,
I don't even know if I really need one of these. I'll probably flap it. I'm a handsy talker. I am a handsy talker. All right, we're good? Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
All right. My name is Caroline Duddle. I am the Director of Development here at Thrive. I started a little over a year ago. And previous to that, I served in the pantry and on the board. And just be careful what you wish for, because it is hard to say no to any of the asks. We have a lot of yes people in the room, right? A lot of yes people. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. So I'm here to talk to you about putting the fun in fundraising. Yeah, right? Okay, so a lot of people are like, oh, I hate fundraising. I hate asking people for money. You want me to ask people for money? What? How about I ask them for canned goods? Okay, please do that, yes.
But you know, the services that we provide, as you can see, cannot happen without the cash flow that we receive as well. And so we do that with two primary events. Give Local 757 that is put on through the Peninsula Community Foundation. Is anybody familiar with the Peninsula Community Foundation? All right. Is anybody familiar with Give Local? Has anybody participated in Give Local? It is an annual event. They put it on, and this is their 10th year of doing that. They do that by pulling together resources and challenging local nonprofits to celebrate a day of giving. They put out different prizes. They challenge people to give at certain points of the day, and they secure matching gifts for the nonprofits to kind of compete for in a friendly challenge way, to rally and make sure that people know that the nonprofits that are in our community are the reasons why our community can come together and do to take care of our community. So the other thing the other event is Giving Tuesday, and that's always the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. We all know that there's Black Friday, there's Shop Local Saturday, there's Cyber Monday, and Giving Tuesday also started about, I think 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, and it is a global movement in which both of these events are primarily online fundraisers. It is easy, very, very much a social media frenzy. Who all has a Facebook account? Who all has Instagram? Anybody? Does anybody do TikTok? I don't. So, I mean, there's no shame. But you know, there's a lot of ways in which the community is engaged, right? I started my career 20 years ago with the American Heart Association with letter writing campaigns. Has anybody sent a letter asking people for money recently? No.
My kids.
Okay. How many people have received letters asking for money recently? Probably like 15 in your trash right now, probably. Okay, so we all know that the way to successfully rally support for the causes that we love is by word of mouth, right? And by sharing stories and by engaging and saying, you know, I went and heard this crazy lady talk about Thrive, and she wanted me to send you this email on April 25th with this link. And will you click on that link and will you make a gift to support this cause? It's about connecting, and it's about telling the stories. It's about, you know, listening to Jocelyn and Teresa and Tammy and Mary and all of us talk about the clients that we serve. It's about knowing that we make an impact with our gift. So on April 25th, we're going to start our morning out at our new location, which information coming on that. There's an invitation on your table. Please take it with you. There's a QR code down here on the corner. Please scan that and RSVP that you're joining us, and you'll get more information as we garner strength and get ready for this big event. So that is going to be cake and coffee, and we're going to cut the anniversary cake for Thrive's 50th, and we're going to celebrate the beginning of our 50th year, celebrating our community, rallying support, and we're going to open up the doors to the new facility, and you will see kind of where we're starting and how it's going to grow and kind of the backbone of our future. So that is April 25th. There is another event that evening at Tradition Brewing Company. It's going to be for professionals to learn about how they can connect their businesses and their professional experiences with the local nonprofits and the benefits that everybody garners from those connections. So it's connections that thrive. But most of the events are, like I said, from the convenience of your living room, from the convenience of your desk, from the convenience of your car at, when you're sitting and waiting for your grandchildren or your child at soccer, however that works out, but it is through the connections. So I will be sending y'all everything you possibly want to make this event successful for you. There'll be sample bulletin notices for your bulletin, your church bulletins. There will be emails, there'll be sample social media posts, and the easiest thing you can do is follow us on social media, like and share the posts and content that are already going to be out there. But really, truly, it's just helping us cast our net. These giving days are extremely important. They are vital to the success of our programming. Last year, Giving Tuesday and Give Local, within those 48 hours, 24 hours on Give Local, 24 hours for Giving Tuesday, we've raised over $100,000 in those 48 hours. And it introduced us to so many more people. A lot of people started their recurring giving programs. A lot of people give on both days. A lot of people give their regular traditional gift individually, and then they rally and help us do these fundraising because we have matching gifts. So your $50 donation actually is a $100 donation on these special days. So we really, truly rely on these days, not just for the funding, but for the communication, and because we can't do it alone. And together we can thrive, and together we put the fun in fundraising. So any questions? No? Everybody's excited, right?
Super excited.
Super excited, right. Okay, so stay tuned for more information. I'll be sending it out. And in all of the information, you'll have ways to communicate. Contact me if you have any questions. But I really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
I would like to add real quick though, we've been working with Caroline. She's very shy and introverted, and we're starting to see signs that she can come out of her shell. So we appreciate your patience on that.
All right, my helper didn't help me here.
Oh, I'm fired.
I think I've got it. My name is Jen Mills, and I am the resource manager. But tonight I'm going to be talking about how you can help thrive. So the first, oh, do we need to fix it already?
Well, you have such a lovely smile. We want to see it. There you go.
Perfect. So the first thing is we hope that you utilize our website to stay updated. This is a great resource to find out what our food needs are. And I think Vanna here, I'm going to try to talk and look at the website here. We're going to show you the website, but under our Get Involved tab, we have our food needs. We update this every month with our top 4 most needed items. We also will put this in our newsletter that we send out monthly and on our social media. You can also find out our volunteer needs, which currently it's showing nothing, which is wonderful, but we do need subs, and there is that space about financial coaching that you can click on and find out more information about that. Under groups, you can see different ways that you can provide assistance for us offsite, building meal kits, doing a drive. We did bring examples of meal kits and blessing bags here that you can see. We created a recommended calendar of times and with different types of blessing bags that you can build. This is great for all ages, so we love to give these out, and we encourage you to do that off-site. See if we can get back to the slide. Another way that you can help us is to do a drive, whether it's a food drive, a shoe drive. We have red bins, and we did bring an example of one where you can check out a bin either for a specific time period or as an ongoing drive. You can check out the bin. We've got laminated signs that are bright and colorful and are great eye catchers to bring people and encourage people to do that. We just created some, what would you call them? Posters, but also plastic holders that you can check out if you don't have a great space for a bin, but you want to still offer communication. This can be, at a check-in desk or just somewhere where you're offering communication to your congregation. We have those that you can check out as well. And other ways that you can help is to take a special offering. You can encourage people to link their Kroger cards. We earn money if you link your Kroger card. Just this last year, we had $1,600 from families who linked their Kroger card. It's an easy way to contribute to us. We do have flyers with steps on how you can link that. And then lastly is to keep your church contact list updated. When we send out our quarterly or annual or mid-year reports, that's a great time to check that all the contacts are up to date. Or who came to me earlier today and said they had an update? Yes. So my email is here. You can reach me at any time and just provide some updated information so that when we are sending the newsletter or any other communication, we're sending it to the right people. And then I'm going to send it back to Angela.
I
don't know.
It's took me a second.
Tell me how to do it.
What's this one? It's tricky.
I should have organized speakers by height.
I realized that I did something mean to my staff, and that is that I made every single one of them stand up here and give a public speech to a room full of people, and that was kind of mean. So
they did great.
Awesome. I just want to clarify one point before I get into the new building here, but for our financial coaching, that one session is required of all of our clients. So they turn in a few of the basic items, we schedule an appointment, they do a one-time financial coaching session, but our goal is to get them to sign up for Level Up and to do ongoing financial education. So that's the optional part. But we do exit surveys with all the families we serve through financial coaching, through food, and our exit surveys are gauging, was the session helpful? Did you use the tools we gave you? Was it encouraging? All those things, because we want to know that it wasn't just a session that we made them do. We want to know that it was actually helpful to them. And overwhelmingly, the feedback we get is that the sessions are helpful. They're going to use the tools from the session. And so it's just our job to make it so wonderful that they want to keep coming back for the Level Up program. So anyway, I just want to clarify that point. So you've been hearing a lot of chatter. We are in the process of purchasing a new building. We are doing all of these wonderful things out of a 2,500 square foot office space, and barely our staff fit in there, but we have 165 people who actually come into that little office space. So this is the building. So it's on Nettles Drive. It's very close to the Oyster Point intersection. It's across from, what's the funeral home?
Way down.
There you go, whatever you guys said. It's right across from that. There's a bus stop right out front. So this is actually, it's a huge building. It's owned by the Boys and Girls Club. They are going to sell it to us, and then they're going to lease back 30% of the building. So it's kind of hard to see, but, oh, can you do that? Sorry, Jen. It's kind of hard to see, but there's kind of 4 buildings. It looks like 4 buildings, but it's really just one. Oh, thank you, Caroline. And those 2 buildings on the side will be the Boys and Girls Club. So they'll be separate buildings, and they're connected, but we'll be separating them, and they'll have their own entrance. And so the beauty of this is that it allows us to afford a much bigger building because they'll be leasing back part of the space, so we'll be sharing, which is fantastic. Like I said, our current space is 2,500 square feet. This space will give us 5,700 square feet, so more than double, which is fantastic. Yeah, it's really important to us that this is an accessible place for our clients and for our volunteers, so it's only 2.5 miles from our current space. Okay, so inside, this is where Caroline will come in handy. So I want to show them where they're going to enter the building. So this is a map. So people will enter the building and check in on the right.
This is the driveway.
Yep, it's a circle drive for drop off and pickup. They'll enter the lobby. On the left, there's going to be a free library in partnership with an organization called Reach Reads. This organization provides new free books to children. And so those will be available anytime someone comes in and has children. They can pick out a book for their kid. Straight ahead, you're going to have a first-hand view of the beautiful raised bed garden. So we're going to be able to grow our own produce on site. And if you know anything about growing food, it is at its peak nutritional point when you take it off the vine. And so every day that it's off the vine, it actually loses nutrition. And so it's super cool that we're going to be able to go into our garden, cut produce, and distribute it immediately. That is awesome. We're not expecting to have all of our produce. Ooh, we locked someone out. We are not expecting to source all of our produce through this, but it will allow us to grow different types of produce that would normally be a gap for us. And it'll be really cool because when you walk in, it's glass doors, and it's the first thing that you'll see is the garden. So it'll really create a totally different feel for our space of a community center, which is what we want. Not a social services, white walled. We want it to feel like a welcoming home for people to come in and take what they need. So the big shebang is going to be the market. So a fun statistic about food insecurity is that 60% of families who are food insecure will not go to a food pantry because of the stigma. So that means that they are not getting enough produce, or they're skipping meals, they're not eating enough, or maybe their kids aren't eating enough because they don't want to go to a food pantry. And so what we're doing in this new space is going to be unique for the Peninsula. We're going to open up the market at Thrive. So it's a totally rebranded food pantry, and it's going to look and feel like a supermarket. So we're actually partnering with Food Lion to design the space, and we're getting shelving from them, and it's going to look like a supermarket. And so the idea is that we want families who are struggling, who can't keep up with all these added expenses, that they can come in and grab some food. And the emphasis is going to be on fresh produce. It's going to be on fresh items because that's also meeting a hole. In our lobby, we hope to do food demos too, so that we can show people how to cook produce, how to prepare it in a healthy way, just adding to that healthy foundation, right? If we can look at their financial situation, we can give them financial wellness, we can give them wellness, like physical wellness through the food. We're trying to help them in a multifaceted approach so that we can help them have a stable and healthy foundation. We'll have a dedicated financial services wing, which is pretty amazing because right now our financial services are all on the outside of a food pantry, and it's very loud in all these ladies' offices when they're meeting with clients. So this will be a nice, quiet, dedicated hallway. And then there'll be a dedicated volunteer area where volunteers have their own separate entrance. They'll be able to check in, put their stuff away. We'll have our volunteer appreciation station, which we stock with snacks and coffees and all those things so they can put their things away, grab a coffee, and go and volunteer. It's really important to us that our volunteers feel appreciated, they feel welcome, they enjoy being in that environment, because if they don't like it, they can just leave. So we do put a big emphasis on having a community, and it's also, it's great for everybody to have a community where we all want to be and we all want to serve. And then we'll have a large conference room in the back, and that can be used for any kind of workshops we want to do, trainings, board meetings, anything that we'd like in a large room. The fire code is actually 50, so we can fit a lot of folks in there. We can have a future meeting here of all of you fine people, so the possibilities are endless. So, did I miss anything critical?
The butterfly garden.
Butterfly garden.
Thank you. Okay. We're going to put a butterfly garden.
My wife saw that from here.
Well, wonderful. You can come be a part of that. We will need volunteers to tend to our gardens, but that'll be nice because it'll be right next to the Boys and Girls Club wing. So I told the unit director over there, we want the kids to be able to enjoy these spaces too. And that'll be a nice area where we can recognize our volunteers who've served with us a long time, and we'll allow people to dedicate bricks and things like that as well. So, what's my next slide? I don't remember. Oh, okay, so you can go back then. So, you can go back one more. Sorry. So I'm trying to wrap it up because I know it's almost time. I'm trying to respect y'all's time. So our status with this building is that we plan to close in the next 30 days. So we have lined up our financing with our bank, and so we have that behind us. Normally, for an organization like ours, we would do a capital campaign. We do a feasibility study, and then you do a capital campaign, and then you pick out the building, or then you buy the property. We don't have time for that based on what you've seen in our slides. The need is right now. And so we have decided to move forward with the building and purchase it outright and then do a capital campaign at the same time because our goal is to get in the building as soon as possible. And we do need to do some renovations in there because it looks like a Boys and Girls Club, which is great for that purpose. But we want it to be what it's going to be for a long, long, long time for us. And so we're going to, as soon as we close, we'll start the renovations. We hope to be in it in the fall. We purchased the building. We're going to purchase the building for $730,000, which is actually a pretty good price for a building of that size on 3 acres of land. And then we will spend the rest of the money renovating it. And in total, Caroline and I hope to raise about $1 million. If we raise $1 million, we will outright pay for the building. Did you cough like you're not going to do it?
Bad timing.
We should talk later. Okay.
I thought you said $500,000.
No, we're going to raise $1 million in 3 years, y'all.
Yes, 3 years in pledges, and then we'll be able to pay off the building, and all that money will go back into paying off the renovation, obviously immediately, and paying off the mortgage in 3 years. And then the lease income we have from the Boys and Girls Club will just support our general efforts for us to be able to do more in the community, because we've always been fortunate to have low facility expenses. And we really want to keep it that way. So that's why we're doing the capital campaign. As of today, I believe we're at, I think, $328,000 is pledged. Yeah, over the course of 3 years. We haven't yet reached, right now we're really focusing on corporate partners and foundations, because a lot of entities have money. It's just a matter, for capital campaign, it's just a matter of, will they give it to us? So our goal is to say, please give it to us. And then toward the end of the campaign, after we raise, 80% or something, we'll more publicly go out and ask for individual contributions and over the next 3 years. So I do have a couple churches that have already contributed directly to the capital campaign through their foundations, through special offerings or special gifts. If your church is willing to help us in any way, please let me know. I'm also going to churches on Sunday mornings, talking about what's going on. So I'm happy to do that at your church, but in any way you can support us to get there would be great. I mean, we plan to be in this building for a long time, and the need is really there. So we hope that you'll support us in some way. So feel free to talk to Caroline or I if you're interested in any way. And we take cash or check today or whenever you're ready. Just kidding.
And come to the April event so you can really see it yourself.
Yes, we would love to give you all a tour, and that anyone is welcome. So feel free to share that invitation with anyone at church or anyone you know. It is a really cool building, and I think you'll be able to understand our excitement when you go in it. And it's probably something that we talk about every day. One of our volunteers is like, "Are we going there yet? Like, this is crazy." We're on top of each other. So anyway. So I guess really quick, I will go over these answers to your trivia questions. Yes.
Quick question for Teresa. Delayed question. What's your turnaround time to assisting people financially when you give an answer and say, I'm getting ready to get cut off tomorrow?
Well, if it's that very next day, I mean, it's not a whole lot we can do in that case, but on normal basis, we get their application, but it's really up to them. If they can send the required documents within a day or two, then we can get an appointment within the next day. And then once we actually meet with them, we can go ahead and process payment if they're approved. So I would say 3 to 4 days maybe. And like I said, if it's something that's immediate, like the next day, it's very difficult. I can possibly do it if they can send me the documents. We can do it over the phone because we try to avoid them being disconnected, especially if it's cold or hot if they have children. So we try to do it as quickly as possible. I won't say we can't do it. It's very difficult. We try, and sometimes we can manage to get it done that day, but for the most part, it's at least 2 days. Okay.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to go through these questions really quick. So you guys can shout out all the right answers that you've been waiting to tell me. What year was Thrive or Duco established? 1973. What type of bird is in the Thrive logo?
Phoenix. Sociable weaver.
Social weaver.
Osprey. I never got that.
Is it osprey?
No.
Social weaver.
It's a sociable weaver. Most people wouldn't know what it is. Okay, good job. How did you know that? So, couple cheaters in the room.
Website.
Right. So we are in the. So it's called a sociable weaver. It's a. I'm sorry. It is a bird. Yes. It's an African bird, and they're actually very cool, and you guys would probably have not heard of them except through us, so you're welcome. But they build these huge nests in trees. They're not attractive, or we would have the nest be our image. But it's a space where birds come together and they share resources. It's like Acts 2, and all the birds share the food and the things and the resources inside these huge nests. Check out our website. It's actually very cool. But because most people don't know about it, we are going to try to change our logo to something that's more easily recognizable. But I encourage you to go to the history tab of our website and learn more, because it is kind of neat. All right, how many pounds of food were distributed in 2022?
38,234.
All right, good job. What position did we just hire for?
Bilingual intake specialist.
That's right, bilingual intake specialist. This is a tough one. We didn't go over this. Yeah. Number of children who received gift cards through our Let Christmas Thrive program in 2022. Really? About 600 plus. Yeah, 627 children. These were all the children of the families who received financial assistance in 2022. They went through our screener. We did the financial coaching with them. We decided to give them gift cards to Walmart for each one per child. So we distributed almost $50,000 in gift cards so these families could have Christmas. And we plan to do that again this year. What season do we receive the most donations? Christmas. What season do we need the most donations? Summer. All right, you guys are good. All right, summer is a time when the kids are home and there's more mouths to feed. They're not getting the free and reduced lunches, and electricity bills are high. So we get the most requests in the summer, and it's not even close. What road is our new building on? Nettles Drive. How many financial assistance applications have we received in 2023? This is just a guess. What? So far this year. 850, 200, any other guesses? It's higher. 2,000. So far this year, we've received 1,133 applications for financial assistance. How many volunteer hours did we log last year?
18,000.
18,000. Okay. If anyone has to go, feel free. Thank you for coming. If anyone has questions, all of the staff are going to stick around. Feel free to come up. We're very friendly. If you didn't sign in, please sign in. We appreciate your contact information. Thank you again.